Welcome, everybody, to another edition of The Pursuit of Being a Stand-Up Leader, the ABCs of Doing Things Right. I actually got the title of our podcast correct there. Hey, thank you very much for being with us today. I'm here with my great friend, Jared Whitman,
Hello.
owner of Whitman Media, videographer extraordinaire, and Lucas is behind the scenes here working the cameras and the audio. So it's really cool working with great videographers who are professional in nature. If you're looking for a podcast, you're looking for a video project, I'd highly recommend Whitman Media. That's my shameless plug before I jump into the next topic, which is insurance. I find insurance to be somewhat boring.
Oh, yeah, same here.
It's a little complicated.
Yeah.
It's kind of like accounting. There's a lot going on with the liability tables, and man, they've got it all figured out. I think insurance companies make way too much money.
I agree.
And if you look and see what their performances on the stock market, you'll see that they're all gazillionaires. And the CEO of every insurance company makes about 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 million a year. I think it's a racket. But you still have to have it. So we're going to talk about it.
Sounds good.
So I'm not an insurance expert. And, I had to rely on a good friend of mine, Aaron Achenbach, Achenbach. It's funny spelling, German. He's a State Farm agent here in Middleton, Wisconsin. And I called Aaron and I said, I'm writing this book to help business owners and stand-up leaders think about the different things that they need to address in starting a business or running an operation. And business insurance is critical, especially if you're in the trades, because if you've got employees and they get hurt, or if you're on a project and you're on somebody else's property and somebody else gets hurt,
or a technician messes up a customer's house in some shape or form.
I backed the truck into a garage one time and it ripped the framework off the edge of the garage. I felt terrible.
Yeah.
I'm sure insurance covered that.
Yeah.
Right. If you have hail damage, you get insurance coverage. There's things that you need insurance for.
Right.
Car accidents. It goes on and on and on. You need to protect your company. That's why a lot of businesses have limited liability corporations, LLCs,
Yeah.
because it separates the business entity from your personal finances so they can sue your business but not sue you.
Yep.
But having the right coverage requires special expertise. And my whole recommendation about this chapter is to take the time, invest the time that's required to educate yourself on what the right coverage is for your business and where the right cost is, where the right investment level is. I think it's very difficult to get a handle on insurance when you don't know insurance.
Yeah.
You don't have any frame of reference to base on. What is the coverage? What is the replacement cost? What is the replacement coverage? If my boat burns up and my boat's worth $10,000, but my insurance is only going to pay $6,000 on the replacement cost, is that good coverage? Doesn't seem like it.
No.
So, I'd like it to be covered completely. If my house burns down, I'd like a new house built like I had, not what you think the fair market
Right.
value is based on an assessment of all the comparable properties listed in your area. It gets ridiculous.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of science that goes into insurance.
What are some of the questions, or what is some of the research that a business or stand-up leader can do to make sure that they have the right insurance for their business and what they need?
That's a great question. I guess the research is to determine what you need to have in that policy.
Okay.
Personal property, physical buildings, land,
Yeah.
business liability, operational stuff, trucks, equipment, services, equipment that you take on the road.
Right.
The people that are on the job site, the contractors, the installers, the technicians, what if they get injured?
Right.
What's their coverage like?
Yeah.
What if you're out on the road and you're in a customer's house and something happens with the work that you did. Let's say you install a roof air conditioner and it falls and it hits somebody in the head.
Oh, snap.
Is that your fault?
Yeah.
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 So you better have coverage for that.
Right.
So you have to think through all the potential risks and elements of trouble that could come back to bite you. And then when you go to meet with your prospective insurance provider on your interview to determine what this insurance provider is willing to give me in terms of coverage and costs, now I have option A. Now I'm going to go talk to another insurance provider.
How many are you going to talk to?
I'd like to talk to 3.
3?
And I'd like to actually get references from people I know in my industry who have insurance. What would you recommend? Who would you recommend? Who do you respect the most in your industry that you can go ask advice about insurance coverage? What's your deductible? What's the coverage? Who does it apply to? How much does it cost? What are your payments? What's your response been? Have you ever had any claims? Have you ever had anybody,
That's a good question.
Come back to you and say there was an accident and you need to cover it?
Right.
So it gets pretty complicated.
Yeah.
Loss of income is something that you want protection on. If your data gets compromised and your identity gets compromised.
That's big nowadays. With cybersecurity and all that stuff.
Yeah. If you've got somebody driving your vehicles, that needs to be taken care of. There are certain ordinances and laws as it relates to land use, property lines, a lot of complexities there. Real estate becomes an issue. Auto, employer, non-owned auto, liability, workers' comp, all this stuff. So my recommendation is stand-up leaders should reach out to several insurance experts to evaluate their insurance needs so they can select and purchase policies that provide protections where it's needed. I thank Aaron for helping me understand a little bit about this, because your average person, your average business owner, your average entrepreneur, no basis of information for insurance coverage.
Right.
So you really have to have good local representation, somebody in your market, preferably, who knows the market, who can guide you and make sure that you have the coverage that you need so that if something happens. A friend of mine has a huge home services business. His building burned to the ground. Huge tragedy.
Huge loss.
Giant businesses toast.
Yeah.
Pun intended. Their insurance coverage, their insurance representative was on the site within an hour.
Wow.
And told my friend who owns the business, everything's covered.
Wow.
You don't have a thing to worry about.
Yeah.
I'm going to be here tonight working with the fire crews until they leave. This is the insurance guy.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to call you at 8:00 and we're going to start the process to file the paperwork so I can get you a check so you can start rebuilding your business. I was blown away by it.
Right.
My friend is like, I can't believe what happened here as far as what this insurance representative did for me.
Yeah.
Saved his business, built it back up better than before, and he never missed a beat.
Yeah.
And that was an impressive insurance claim. So there's really good insurance companies out there. They make a lot of money.
Yep.
So they should cover whatever needs to be covered when a disaster occurs.
I agree.
Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think you covered a lot of stuff. Make sure that you're getting insurance from someone local.
Yeah, it helps.
You reach out to people in your network, in your field, for recommendations on insurance agents and maybe even insurance
Coverage.
Thank you. Insurance coverage. Get quotes from at least 3. insurance agents, and then just make sure that you're asking enough questions to make sure that you and your business
Replacement value.
are covered in how you need to be covered.
Right.
Did I
And
sum
make
that
sure
up?
that your people are covered in the field,
Yes.
so that if your customer ever has a problem, that can be taken care of as well.
Yeah.
So insurance is a tough subject. It's complicated. Get with your local insurance agent, and I'm sure that they'll be happy to help you. If you want to get some information direct from my source, Aaron Achenbach, you can reach him at the State Farm office in Middleton, Wisconsin. He'd be happy to help you. Thanks for being with us today. Look forward to seeing you next time.